Tell them it's just beginning. All right, we're going to take it live to Kasia Bedurka, who is at Pearson Airport. Have you got any feeling yet about delays, or what's the feeling right now at this time of year?
Radar. Let's go to Jaclyn live in the newsroom. And Jaclyn, this looks like it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I agree. I mean, I think there's a lot of people out there, Mike, saying it's just rain. You know, what are they talking about? And, oh, well, I thought we were going to go back to Mike there, but we'll just continue. Okay, so we're going to bring Mike back in a minute, but it's true what I said. A lot of people are thinking, what is the weather net we're talking about? It's just raining outside. It's not so bad. As our temperatures cool, that's when the rain will continue, but it'll freeze on contact. We've never seen at least any of the meteorologists I've spoken to so far cannot recall an event like this to compare it to. You know, it was like 2003 when we had the ice storm. We haven't really had a significant ice storm that anyone can recall. If anyone does, send me a tweet. But we are talking about a big type of ice storm because we could see up to 3 to 5 centimeters of ice accretion. We're already seeing it in some areas. I'm showing you the radar here because you can see anywhere south of Tremblant, it's just a mixing line and then straight rain. Now let's go to the next radar. And that will be our GTA temperatures, because this is so temperature dependent. As Mike's been saying, -1 in Collingwood, sitting at that 0 degree mark in Guelph. Same for Toronto, +1 in Niagara Falls. Right below the 0 mark is when we're going to get the freezing on contact. Winds are shifting northerly. That's going to help draw our temperatures down slightly. If we can go to the wind map, you can see most of these arrows out of the north at 15 kilometers an hour. Certainly not a gusty scenario. Now I want to show you, you said the worst is yet to come. If you don't believe me, take a look at our future radar of this storm. As temperatures cool, there is an abundance of moisture still moving up from the south. And so, Kasia, I think, you know, when you're at Pearson Airport yourself, this is just the beginning, and you've already got many delays.
Not only can we get photos, videos, and tweets about the conditions, Jaclyn, we can also get some great questions from our viewers. You have one wanting to know the difference between freezing rain and hail.
Yeah, that's right. Mike, a lot of people tend to think hail, ice pellets, it's all kind of the same thing. They're actually very different things. Hail requires a convective type of setup, so like a thunderstorm in the middle of the summer. And we have rising air parcels, we get cumulonimbus storm clouds, and then we get an updraft that feeds the energy into those thunderstorms. When we have an updraft, and we have precipitation falling in the cloud, that updraft takes that precip and throws it way up in the cloud. It freezes again, it falls, it gets thrown up again, and then that builds a hailstone, and that's why hailstones have rings. When we talk about ice pellets, freezing rain, that's a completely different type of setup. With freezing rain, we have a supercooled water droplet. We have rain falling from the sky, and it freezes on contact with the surface. And boy, are we already seeing a lot of it. And really, the event is just getting started. So if we, so that was a question I did have by Sarah Mazel on Twitter. David Chapman, who's a storm chaser and photographer extraordinaire. Current ice buildup in Guelph. This was a little bit earlier. You can see it's starting to form, and as I mentioned, this is just the beginning. As we get into the rest of Saturday and into Sunday, it's going to get bad. This is basically what the trees look like in Kingston, where we have had thousands of power outages throughout the day and evening. And yeah, certainly seeing accretion there. What's going to be extra dangerous is when it gets dark. I mean, there's so many people that maybe, you know, have to get to the airport. That's where we find our own Kasia Bedurka at Pearson. Kasia, you know, I know we're telling everybody, don't get in your cars, don't drive. It's going to get really bad, but people, you know, have places to go all around the world. Yeah, I'm here with Doug Gillum, and we're talking a little bit about how rare of an event this is. I mean, this is, can you recall growing up in Ontario, I know you spent many years stateside, an event like this?
I do recall several significant ice storms. Certainly Southern Ontario, no stranger to freezing rain, but this really is a step above what we would typically see with the accumulation of ice that's forecast to fall tonight and what has already occurred in eastern Ontario, seeing reports of 2 to 3 centimeters from Kingston to Cornwall. And the main event hasn't even started yet. And so we're looking at an additional 30 to 50 millimeters of freezing rain. Not all of that will stick to trees and power lines, but a lot of it will, where, you know, eastern Ontario, temperatures well below 0. And here in the GTA and into southwestern Ontario, temperatures are just now falling to 0 and below 0. So conditions quickly deteriorating as we go into the overnight.
And there's two systems. The one that moved in overnight, we saw a little bit of freezing rain. I actually lost power where I live in Ancaster momentarily, but the worst is yet to come. A lot of people might be thinking, well, it's just been raining. I'm okay. Well, take a look at Hamilton. They've only seen 1 hour so far of the freezing rain. And then you go to Kingston, nearly 40.
Right. They've been below freezing since the event began. That's why we're seeing all these pictures of heavy ice accumulation. That's what it's going to look like in the GTA by morning.
All right, so be careful out there. Do not go out tonight if you don't have to, right into your Sunday. And of course, we'd love to hear from you. Send us those pictures. You can do that at theweathernetwork.com. We'll send it back to you now.